What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Formcast, episode 30. Yes, episode 30. That means that we've uploaded minimum of 30 weeks. Not necessarily in a row. I remember taking a couple weeks off, or one here, one there, one all that kind of stuff. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for downloading on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for watching and listening on YouTube. And if you're watching today on YouTube, I don't have a hat. My hair looks like crap. I just rode my motorcycle for like an hour around town. I needed the thrill, the adrenaline rush of that throttle. And I needed old ladies to look at me as I went by their old lady yoga group this morning by our waterfront lakeside. That being said, today I wanted to bring something a little bit, not necessarily spicy or hot take or anything like that, just something that I've observed in the last little while as streaming develops, as content creators try and find their place, and as Twitter becomes literally the main spot where everyone seems to dump their lows and literally their most highs and nothing in between. So that being said, Twitter's logo changed. I really don't like it. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is the fact that so many people that I see, I don't engage with their tweets. I don't, it's not even sometimes people that I follow. I don't usually go in the following tab on Twitter. I go into the for you. That's how I found a lot of new people sometimes is you just see their content and you're like, oh, what's this? And you're not following them, but it's like someone liked it that you follow or whatever, right? However, the internet and Twitter or Exeter or whatever it's called now decides to shoot it your way. There have been people literally, and this is happening for a long time. This is nothing new, but I want to kind of bring it to light, and I also just want to talk about it. And these topics also help me kind of, I don't know, kind of process what's happening by vocalizing it for myself. So I guess it's my own kind of like self-help thing. So, 1 week they're having the utmost amazing time as a streamer. They had a really good stream. They were put on the front page of some platform. They got featured. Someone shouted them out that is super big and famous. All these things. They got tons of follows on their socials. All these amazing things are happening that one day. And then a couple days later, they're like, all right, we're going to celebrate all these things. And then that stream flops. And I don't know what I'm using, quotation marks, air quotations. I don't know what flop means for everybody, but I do think everybody has their definition of a bad stream. Again, using quotation marks. I've always said there's no such thing as a bad stream. A less active stream, a less supportive stream, a less fun stream for the streamer is literally just one more stream to learning, getting better, and entertaining more and all that kind of stuff. But what I've learned in my now over 3 years is that if you invest yourself tremendously in the lows and tremendously into the highs, you will literally never make it out alive. Like you will not. You will burn out. Your brain will be mush. You will feel so unhappy most days until that next high hits. And then when that high hits, it's like a drug, guys. It's really, really is like a drug. If you've had quiet stream. I can't even speak. Quiet stream. Say that 5 times fast, by the way. Quiet stream. I can't even say it. If you've had like quiet, and you get this crazy stream where that you're not really used to those things, and you're just like, this is what I've been working for. This is what I've been putting my hours and hours and hours into in order to achieve things like this. But it only happened because of certain things happening, certain people doing something, certain platforms pushing you one way. It doesn't necessarily mean longevity in that success. It doesn't mean sustainability. And people don't realize that, I think. And what happens is a few days later, you come off of that high, and because you haven't had the same thing happen again, and all of a sudden, you're even lower than where you were before mentally. Your stream is probably the exact same place it was before this high, but mentally, you're like, this sucks so much. I've been there. I will be completely honest. I've been there a little while ago, mind you, but as you go, you'll tend to learn that just because it's a quiet stream, it doesn't mean that it's a bad stream. It doesn't mean that you're losing your steam. It doesn't mean that you need to push the gas pedal even more or else you're going to fail. All these things. It just means that that's what happened that night, that day, whatever, that stream. I think a lot of people forget that. Now, mind you, I wasn't a huge believer in this until a little while ago, but manifestation and that law of attraction and just putting out the good, receive the good. It sounds like garbage. It sounds like just spewing nonsense to your ears, but it's really true. When you just believe that good things are going to happen, and you truly believe those things, I should say, because you can't just vocalize it and not believe it. When you truly believe those things and good things are coming your way, and no matter the lows, you have to invest yourself in these struggles and enjoy the struggles, because that's what makes the highs even better and the wins even better, and more success come your way and more results that you're looking for. A lot of people don't realize that. So when they have these things happen, and I see this all over Twitter, it's just like literally one day I could scroll through Twitter. One day someone is just like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? They're tweeting like 10 times in the last hour because of something happening at that moment. Beautiful. I love it. Invest yourself in that energy, in that success, in those results in that very moment, because you deserve it. Probably you've been working hard. But 2 days later, they're like, well, it was a flop. So that stream was a flop. So okay. It's the exact same thing as like literally someone tweeted out, I went from the highest amount of subs last month to my lowest ever this month. I don't know what people are trying to achieve by voicing these emotions, but they're definitely not resolving the issue. And the issue is not that your sub count went up all the way up to whatever and all the way back down to whatever. That's not the issue, because that's streaming. That's just what it is. It's part of the job. Doing this full time, I very quickly learned that you can go from an ultimate high to an ultimate low, and then you can come back up. Like it's a freaking roller coaster, man. And I've talked about this before, but a lot of people don't realize that, right? So if people are tweeting out, I went from the highest to my lowest. Oh my God, look what's happening to. Oh my God, this is horrible. Where do you leave space in your mind for that middle ground? That middle ground of like, yeah, this is awesome, man. I love this. All right, let's go more. Let's get more. Let's learn from this and grow more and invest in the right ways, because this is working for me right now. All these things, and learn to change and learn to be flexible and go with the flow and all these things. To, oh yeah, that sucks, man. But listen, that's all right. It's all right. It's gonna be a good day tomorrow. It's that's all right, because like yesterday was amazing. Today doesn't need to be amazing. It's just maybe quiet, because yesterday was great. So, maybe people supported me so much yesterday that today they're going to be a little bit more quiet. I think what happens is a lot of people do watch streamers that every stream is amazing to them, right? Every stream, this person gets 150 subs. Every stream, they get $500 in donations. Every stream, they get this, they get this, they get that. They have 200 viewers every stream. Every stream, there's no quiet time. It's always chatty. I think people get accustomed to seeing these things and expect it for themselves, or want it so bad that when it happens a little bit, they latch on really hard, and then you're left with what when it doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this to discourage people that once something good happens, it'll never happen again. Because if you take me, for example, I've had a lot of really good things happen. I've had a lot of really bad things happen. But I've always tried to maintain that middle ground where I deserve both. You know what I mean? And when you can officially say that I deserve quiet streams, I deserve really loud and amazing streams, I deserve streams where I make $0. Or for me, for example, I pay for parking outside. I've had many streams where I've made -$. For hours, because I got to pay for parking and no monetary support came in, but people were chatting, people hanging out, we played games with the community, all these things, right? So where's your pros and cons, and where's your goods and your bads and your negative and your positive? You got to find that middle, and you have to say that it's unhealthy to invest yourself in the ultimate lows and the ultimate highs. Enjoy them both. I'm pretty sure it was Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if anybody listens to this, who's listening to this, listens to him, or has watched his videos. but a long time ago, I'm pretty sure it was him. I used to watch a lot of his videos, very, very motivational in terms of being an entrepreneur and owning your own business and making something out of it. Um, he once said there are no struggles for him. He just completely enjoys obviously this is not the words he used, but he enjoys the struggles. He invests himself in the struggles, and when a struggle comes, he really, really just enjoys it, because it's a challenge, and it's a sign of get over this hump, get over this obstacle, on your way to more results and more success. But a lot of people have a hard time in that with streaming, because streaming is a lot out of your control. Every time I go live, I have zero clue if someone's going to hit sub, give sub, cheer bits, donate. Those are the monetary ways of being supported, right? And I do this for a living. So I need those things to happen for me to continue to do this. But if you invest yourself and your energy into worrying so much if those things will happen, I have found that they just don't happen. I don't know why. I don't know what's in the universe or what's in the air, or if there's someone up there, controlling with the little joysticks or whatever, my life. But that's usually what happens. So you have to find that middle ground. And streaming is so mentally exhausting because, and these are not negative mentally exhausting tasks, but you have to continue with conversations. You have to continue with developing relationships with people. Keeping up with socials content, being live, being awake, being healthy, doing things outside of streaming to stay healthy and maintain, family relations and friends and work and all these things. But it is so mentally exhausting that when you invest yourself even more into those lows and you're tweeting about it, that you're literally diving right into the negative. You know what I mean? You're diving right in. And then when it's something that's really amazing happening, you're like, oh my God, I've worked so hard for this. I made it. I just saw someone who just completed an achievement on one of the platforms and tweeted about it. A couple days later, had a celebration stream to celebrate that achievement. And apparently that stream wasn't up to par in terms of what they thought would happen. That's literally that tweet, that range of emotion is literally expectation versus reality, and maybe a poor goal setting ability, maybe a poor expectation setting ability, and then you get pure disappointment, right? And you try and convince yourself, we'll come back from this. But if they don't believe it, because they invest themselves so much in that negative low, in that positive high, they're never in that middle. It's so up and down that I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine going day to day being like, I'm only going to be happy if something insane happens today, and if something really bad happens, then I'm down there. Like I got to be in the middle. You have to be in the middle. So, needless to say, I think what I'm trying to bring with this episode is mental health always matters, but you're 1,000,000%, and I promise you that even the out of your control variables that are out there that happen that affect your mood and your emotions, you are 1,000,000% in control of your emotion, of how you react to things. I'm pretty sure you've heard, it's not what's happening, it's how you react to what's happening that dictates your emotion, your feelings, your thoughts, and then which leads to your next actions. It's basic psychology, right? Feeling, thought, action. And if you can control that or understand that you're in control of it, then you should be able to get better at it. And let me tell you, as a streamer, you need to. So if you're listening to this and you've experienced yourself going from, this is so amazing what's happened, to realizing that it doesn't always happen, and when you realize that, you're all the way down at the bottom again, please try not to. Please try and stay in the middle. Please try and not tweet about it, because I think, not because of people reading it and people judging you or anything like that, but I'd say that for yourself. There are many times that I felt, I would say, not as entertaining, not as fun, boring, all these things. And I could easily tweet about it, right? I could easily do that and share my emotion. And I know that social media is sort of developed that way, especially a platform like Twitter or like, let's say, Facebook, posting a status. I used to do that when I was like 14. But don't. right? Don't do that because it's bad for yourself. It's something that will just literally, it's going to make you eat at the negative even more. You know what I mean? So that being said, try and find your middle ground. And if you can't, then maybe streaming just isn't for you right now. We also have to face that fact that sometimes if it's too much of a low and too much of a high, and it's just so, the fluctuations are just so difficult on you mentally, then maybe it's a good idea to second guess what you're doing with your life. Maybe it's better to see it as a hobby and revert your mindset to the fact that this is just a hobby. Whatever happens, happens. It doesn't need to be amazing. It doesn't need to be, crazy financially beneficial or anything like that. I just do it to do it. Then sure, but make sure your mindset is what comes first in this entire thing. So this is all based off of things I've seen on Twitter, to be honest, because that's where it seems most people, like I said, share their emotions, their horrible lows and their really high highs. But it's never like it's never in the middle for a lot of those people. So I think my simple suggestion is to find your middle and enjoy it. That being said, I think I'm gonna go enjoy some pizza because I think yeah. All right. Decision has been made. See? Feeling, hungry, thought, pizza, action. Go get pizza. We'll see you guys next time, episode 31. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers.